I'm Ann Dart.
I'm Tracy Stormy.
And I'm Kathy Knight.
And together we are
It Was a Dark and Stormy Book Club,
a podcast for mystery lovers.
Welcome. Hello, and welcome to a special episode of It Was a Dark and Stormy Book Club. It's the end of the year, and I can't believe this year's gone as fast as it has, but it's grinding to a halt, and we have decided to take 2 episodes and devote them to our authors who we've reviewed over the year, and we're going to give them a little shout out.
We are so grateful for the authors that we've got to interview or the ones that we've gotten to read their books and review. I cannot tell you how excited I am that I have gotten to discover so many new authors.
Yeah, there are some we would not have read.
We are going to update you on each author's new books coming out and give you their contact information. During this season of giving, please consider patronizing these authors and independent bookstores.
Our first author is Stephen Axelrod. He writes the Henry Kenneth mystery series that take place on Nantucket Island. He is a lifelong resident of Nantucket. He is the father of 2, and he also paints houses. I think Stephen would get the award for our most laid-back author of our group.
I think so. So far, anyway.
And he said sometimes he even writes while he's painting, which I still say I'd like to see that someday.
Maybe he's writing with his paintbrush on the side of the house. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
So his books were very good. I enjoyed them, the ones that I have read. I look forward to reading the next one. The book was really good. It was action-packed, and the descriptions of the events that were going on, it was a nail-biter.
Absolutely.
So I enjoyed that book a lot.
I enjoyed the descriptions of Nantucket. I've never been to Nantucket. I think that Stephen Axelrod brought it to life in the book.
He gave a lot of flavor.
Yeah, it's almost like a character in the book, and I really enjoyed that background.
And we thank Stephen for answering our questions. We wish him all the success with the Henry Kenneth mystery series. If you're interested in checking out Stephen Axelrod, he can be found at poisonpenpress.com. That's his publisher. And then you just have to search for him. And the 5th in his Henry Kenneth mystery series is Nantucket Counterfeit. He has a money theme for each one of his books. The first one was Nantucket Sawbuck, then Nantucket 5-Spot, Nantucket Grand.
I never noticed that, actually.
Yes.
Nantucket Red Tickets, and now we have Nantucket Counterfeit.
And we reviewed was Nantucket 5-Spot because that was the reference to the money paid to the prostitute.
Nantucket Counterfeit takes us into the closed, gossip-ridden, backstabbing world of Nantucket's community theater.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah. And if it's got the same characters, then you know it's going to be good. If you're interested in checking out Stephen Axelrod and his books, you can find information about him on poisonpenpress.com. That's his publisher. And then you just have to search for him once you get in there, and all his books and his bio is in there.
Okay, great.
Next, we have Elizabeth Kane Buzzelli. She is a Michigan-based novelist who has written many books. She has the Emily Kincaid series and the Little Library series, and also the Nut House series. And she has a new book that just came out in September, and it is called In Want of a Knife. And you can look her up on ElizabethBuzzelli.com. And her book is the 3rd in her Little Library series.
Lauren Carr was our C author. We reviewed her book, Ice. Lauren Carr lives not too far from us. She lives in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, and she teaches and she conducts workshops. So she spreads her knowledge to the community. She's the author of quite a few series. Mac Faraday, Lovers in Crime, and Thorny Rose are just a couple of those. She has 2 new books. Murder by Perfection is the 3rd in the Thorny Rose series, and that came out in August. Perfection Can Be a Fatal Endeavor. The other new book came out in October, and that is called Crimes Past. That is the book number 13 in the Mac Faraday mystery series.
I wish she'd come out with another Chris Matheson. I enjoyed Ice a lot, the cold case.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Geezer Squad.
Yes.
Out of all the books we read, I think I was most entertained this year with the Geezer Squad.
I want to join the Geezer Squad. That was an excellent.
Between the Geezer Squad and the one I'm going to be reviewing, that's the Sinful Ladies. Wouldn't we have fun with either one of those?
Yeah, that would make quite a hot look, I tell you.
So Lauren Carr's website is mysterylady.net, and you can check out all of her titles there and have links to go and buy those.
And also, if you want to look for her on Twitter, she's very active on there, and she's under Mystery Lady.
At Mystery Lady.
At Mystery Lady on Twitter. Our D author was Jana DeLeon. We reviewed Louisiana Longshot, which is part of the Misfortune Mystery series that take place in sinful Louisiana.
I think that's a fictitious.
Yes, pretty sure.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a cozy, but it had a little bite to it. I enjoyed it very much. Her latest book is part of the Misfortune series, and it's called Swamp Spook.
Swamp Spook.
And it came out for Halloween this year.
Oh.
And if you'd like to learn more about Jana DeLeon, she is at janadeleon.com.
That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Our next author is Karen Ellis. Her real name is Katia Lief, but she writes these books under the name Karen Ellis. And her first book that we reviewed was called Map of the Dark, and it was a real thriller.
My goodness.
It was one of those can't put down books, and
Kept me up at night.
we thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, she's come out with the sequel, or is coming out with the sequel in February.
Can't wait.
And it's called Last Night. Now, if you remember the book that we read, it featured a female detective and her Russian immigrant sidekick or FBI agent, Lex Cole. Well, this book features Lex Cole as the detective, as the protagonist. And it's called Last Night. What you don't know about your past can haunt you. A biracial teen and a dysfunctional detective learn how to deal with it in Last Night. Dysfunctional detective.
Dysfunctional detective. Okay. I wonder if it's the detective.
It's Lex Cole. So that comes out February 16th of 2009. Now, Katia, or Karen, was born in France to American parents. She moved to the United States as a baby and was raised in Massachusetts and New York. She teaches fiction writing as a part-time faculty member at a new school in Manhattan and lives in Brooklyn with her. I'm excited about this new book coming out.
Oh, me too.
I enjoyed that first one so much.
We all did.
It was scary.
Katia was a joy to interview.
She was a delight. And her website is KatiaLief.com. And you can find her books and about her on that website.
How do you spell Katia Lief?
Katialeif.
Good.
Well, our F author was Thomas Fincham. His real name is Mobashar Qureshi, I think.
Again, not linguist.
He holds a degree in economics. His travels throughout the world have given him an appreciation for other cultures and beliefs. And he's an avid reader of mysteries And so he decided to give writing a try, and that's what he does full time now. He wrote the Hyder Ali series that we reviewed, but he writes several other series, and we have a new book that came out in September. The number 4 in the Lee Calloway series is called The Invisible Wife, and you can look Thomas Fincham up at his website, finchambooks.com, Fincham books.com.
Next up is Celina Grace. She writes the Kate Redmond mystery series. The latest in her Kate Redmond mystery series is Fury. It came out in July of 2018. If you'd like to learn more about Celina, she's at celinagrace.com.
Jane Haseldine was our H book. She is a journalist and former crime writer, which helped her when she was writing her Julia Gooden mystery series, which we really enjoyed.
Yes, they were very good. That was a heart-stopping book. Last time she saw him.
All about her missing brother.
And missing
child.
Yes.
Brother went missing as a small child, and then when she grew up, she became very overprotective. And yet, even so, her child was abducted. We really enjoyed reading all about that. They take place in and around Detroit, Michigan. So that was kind of fun to learn about Detroit. And she has a new book in that series. It's number 4, called You Fit the Pattern. And that is crime writer Julia Gooden has just completed the most important story of her life, a book about her beloved brother's childhood abduction and how she found his killer after 30 years. So that she had resolved the issue about her missing brother, but that has not taken her focus off her day job, especially with what looks to be a serial killer terrorizing the city. Female runners are being snatched off jogging trails, then slaughtered in abandoned churches.
Ooh, that sounds like a good one.
Yes. I'll definitely look forward to reading that one. So Jane Haseldine can be found at janehaseldine.com. And she has all of her books, her bio, all about her, and you can click the links and buy her books.
Okay. Next, we have Ed Ifkovic, and he wrote the Edna Ferber series. Now, he's had one book come out since we did his review, and he has one coming out soon. Mood Indigo came out earlier this year, and then in January of next year, coming right up, is Run Cold. Those are both Edna Ferber books, and you can locate him at edifkovic.com.
Cynthia Kuhn is our K author. She lives in Denver, teaches there, and she is also the president of Sisters in Crime in Colorado. She writes the Lila McLean mystery series. We read Semester of Our Discontent. We learned all about Lila. Cynthia has a new book in that series, number 3. It's called The Spirit in Question. Cynthia's website is cynthiakuhn.net.
Next up is Alice Loweecey. Alice Loweecey writes the Julia Driscoll mystery series. Alice is a former nun who just celebrated her 13th year outside the convent. She, I would say, was one of the most interesting authors. She is an author that we enjoyed speaking with. She has 2 new books that are coming out soon. The first she writes under Kate Morgan. These are paranormal romance books. It's called Stalking Cinderella, and it gets released on Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
Then her newest Julia Driscoll mystery, Better Than None, N-U-N, of course, has a release date of May 21st.
I really enjoyed Alice's books. I am a recovering Catholic, so I could really relate to all of the information and references that she included in her books about Catholic nuns and so forth, could relate to the nun stuff.
I thought they were a lot of fun, and it was kind of a brutal book.
It was a very brutal book.
Yeah. It seemed like a cozy, but
yes,
it was more brutal than you would expect in a cozy.
And I tell you, Alice herself surprised me because you wouldn't expect she's a huge fan of horror movies. And looking at her, because her website says she's the baker of brownies and tormentor of characters. And she's got this picture of herself wearing a silly hat, and she just does not look like somebody.
She looks bubbly.
Yes.
So she doesn't look gothic.
But she was fun. I wish her all the luck with her books. I definitely look forward to reading Better Than None.
Yeah, that's a good series.
And her website is AliceLoweecey.net. I will spell her last name because